What if I told you that one of the most powerful secrets to sleeping peacefully every single night was written over 3,000 years ago? Imagine discovering a method so effective that it has helped millions of people overcome anxiety, anger, and sleepless nights. And it's hidden in just 8 verses. Tonight, while you're lying in bed struggling with worry or frustration, King David's ancient wisdom could completely transform your rest. In the next few minutes, you're about to uncover not just beautiful English expressions, but a life-changing approach to inner peace that modern psychology is only now beginning to understand. This isn't just another Bible study, this is your gateway to mastering both English fluency and emotional freedom. Let's dive into Psalm 4, where David opens with one of the most direct prayers you'll ever encounter. Answer me when I call to you, O God who declares me innocent. Free me from my troubles. Have mercy on me and hear my prayer. Notice how David doesn't waste time with pleasantries, he gets straight to the point. This is what we call being direct in English communication. The phrase declares me innocent uses legal language that David understood well. When someone declares something, they make an official statement. David is saying that God has already ruled in his favor, like a judge in a courtroom. The beautiful thing about this verse is how it combines confidence with humility. David knows God is on his side, yet he still asks for mercy. If you're learning English, pay attention to how this balance works. Being confident doesn't mean being arrogant. Now David shifts his attention to his critics, and here's where the English gets really interesting. How long will you people ruin my reputation? How long will you make groundless accusations? How long will you continue your lies? This repetitive structure, how long 3 times, is called an aphora in English rhetoric. It's a powerful way to show frustration and create emphasis. When David says groundless accusations, he's using a sophisticated way to say lies without proof. In modern English, we might say baseless claims or unfounded rumors. The word reputation here comes from Latin and means what people think about you. David is essentially asking, when will you stop talking badly about me? This verse teaches us that even great leaders face criticism and gossip. The key is how they respond to it, which we'll see in the next verses. Here comes one of the most confident statements in the entire Bible. You can be sure of this. The Lord set apart the godly for himself. The Lord will answer when I call to him. The phrase "you can be sure of this" is David's way of saying mark my words or listen carefully. When someone is set apart, it means they're chosen for a special purpose, like being selected for an exclusive team. The word godly doesn't just mean religious, it means someone who lives according to God's character. In English, we use godly to describe someone with moral integrity and spiritual depth. David is making a bold claim here. God has a special relationship with those who follow him faithfully. This isn't arrogance, it's confidence based on God's promises. The repetition of the Lord emphasizes the source of David's confidence. He's not trusting in his own abilities or political connections, but in God's faithfulness. Now David gives us one of the most practical pieces of advice in Scripture. Don't sin by letting anger control you. Think about it overnight and remain silent. This verse is pure gold for emotional intelligence. The phrase "letting anger control you" paints a picture of anger as a wild animal that can take over if you're not careful. In English, we have many expressions about anger: losing your temper, seeing red, or flying off the handle. David's solution is brilliant. Think about it overnight. This is what we call sleeping on it in modern English. When you're angry, your emotions are running hot, but overnight they cool down. The command to remain silent doesn't mean never speak again, but rather to pause before you react. In our fast-paced world of instant messages and quick replies, this ancient wisdom is more relevant than ever. How many relationships would be saved if people followed this simple advice? David continues with spiritual advice: offer sacrifices in the right spirit and trust the Lord. The key word here is spirit, not just going through the motions, but having the right heart attitude. In English, we distinguish between the letter of the law and the spirit of the law. David is talking about the spirit, the intention behind our actions. When we do something in the right spirit, we're doing it for the right reasons, with the right attitude. The phrase trust the Lord uses a verb that means to rely on completely, like leaning your full weight on a strong wall. In Hebrew culture, sacrifices were important religious rituals. But David emphasizes that the heart attitude matters more than the external action. This principle applies to everything we do: our work, our relationships, our worship. It's not just what we do, but how and why we do it that matters. Here David addresses a universal human question. Many people say, "Who will show us better times? Let your face smile on us, Lord." The phrase better times resonates with everyone. In English, we have many ways to express this hope. Things will get better, light at the end of the tunnel, or brighter days ahead. People throughout history have asked this same question during difficult periods. David acknowledges this common concern, but then he makes a specific request. Let your face smile on us, Lord. This is beautiful poetic language called anthropomorphism, giving God human characteristics to help us understand his nature. His joy doesn't depend on external circumstances like good crops or financial success. This is what we call contentment in English, being satisfied and happy regardless of your situation. In our modern world obsessed with material success, David's perspective is revolutionary. His joy comes from his relationship with God, not from his bank account or achievements. This kind of joy is what psychologists call intrinsic happiness. It comes from within, not from external factors. The psalm ends with one of the most peaceful verses in the Bible. In peace I will lie down and sleep, for you alone, O Lord, will keep me safe. This final verse brings everything together beautifully. The phrase in peace doesn't just mean without conflict, it means with complete tranquility and wholeness. When David says, "I will lie down and sleep," he's describing perfect rest. In English, we have the expression sleeping like a baby to describe peaceful, undisturbed sleep. David can sleep peacefully not because his problems have disappeared, but because he trusts God completely. The phrase "you alone" is emphatic. Not security systems, not bodyguards, not political alliances, but God alone keeps him safe. The word safe here means secure and protected. This is the secret to peaceful sleep that I mentioned at the beginning. Complete trust in God's protection and care. In our anxiety-filled world, this ancient wisdom offers a path to the peace that millions are desperately seeking. David shows us that true security doesn't come from external circumstances, but from internal faith.